a few questions that I wanted to ask you about the short, and I wanted to start off asking about what inspired you to work on the story and getting the script together, and what that whole process was like of really getting the project together overall as the writer in particular.
Yeah, well, it's always a very long process with filmmaking. So I think when our current president was elected into office, and I saw that he immediately started picking on the Latino community, I thought that was incredibly worrying and alarming. And I have a lot of Latino friends, so we started having a lot of conversations. And I was like, wait, why are you guys not like uniting and standing up against it? And I'm sorry for my phone. I thought it was off. My apologies. And it was incredibly hurtful to see like how, with the border wall and that whole narrative and families being separated. And, so I started to dig a little deeper and had like really personal conversation with friends of mine. And, so that it was really complex and layered. And, knowing that relatives had very different experiences and points of view because of religious reasons and whatever. And then I started to do more research. Plus, I had my own personal relationship with a friend who's Latino, and I found out he and I actually have really opposite views. So kind of our whole relationship started to fall apart. And I think that's incredibly sad. And I see how people struggle. And I wanted to tell a story about that. And not just like, a family that's divided by politics in this, during this time, with a leader who is definitely advocating that as well. But also to talk about what the Latino experience is, because there's so many different ways for people to, feel Latino. If you're born here and you don't really speak a lot of Spanish, or people that have been here a long time, people that have been here for hundreds of years, their families. So I've tried to give voice to all those experiences within this family unit. And I just wanted to document a moment in time, that I feel is that you do as an artist. You pick up on these things, you react to your environment, and that's what I do. My themes in my visual art and my filmmaking tackle a lot of social justice topics, And then it goes through many rewrites and many developments and lots of input from a lot of people. So 9 months later, you have a script that you can finally shoot.
And also, besides writing, I also wanted to ask about then going on to direct and what that experience was like of both writing and directing, and how maybe working on the story influenced the way that you approached your directing on the set as well.
So how I approach directing my material? I knew I wanted to do it black and white. So that was a big part of the vision, because I thought, you do something that's very timely, but you're also making a piece of art that you want to be timeless. So that was a very big decision that I made very early on. Also that I wanted to shoot it widescreen, just make it really cinematic. And then, when I got the cast together, I worked very closely with the cast on fine-tuning the characters and the dialogue, because for all these cast members, they could all identify with the story, because like, oh my god, that happens at my home, So it was really great to get their personal input and into these characters. So we did a lot of readings, we did a lot of rehearsals, and you have a very short limited of time to shoot something like this. The cast is super talented. We were very well prepared, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. And we knew how we wanted to do it. So it was like, let's try to get these couple of takes in. Let's get as much coverage. We shot it on 2 cameras, because it's not just about what the character is saying at the moment. It's about how the other characters react. So you need to get all these reactions. It's all about the subtext and what's not being said as well. So that was that was my creative approach. And obviously all the actors that were in there I wanted to work with, they're all very established. They're great. So it was just such a pleasure to work with them.
And speaking of the cast and working with the actors, I also was actually going to ask about that experience as well, and what the whole casting process was like. And did you maybe hold auditions, or did you send out offers, or what was that casting process like as well?
Yeah, so it was a lot of personal relationships, that, in the team, that the team had. I think two of the actors we reached out cold, and sent the material, and they immediately wanted to do it. So it's a mix of, reaching out to an agent, and a lot of it was personal relationships. And the beautiful thing was that everyone they wanted to do it. So that was really great, because again, it was very personal to them.
Mhm. And you kind of touched on getting to work with them once they signed on, but I also wanted to ask a little bit more about that experience, and maybe if you had any rehearsal time, or what was that process like of really getting to work with the cast and developing their characters as well.
I love that you ask about that, because that's such an essential part on creating a good piece, right? And it's extremely time consuming. A lot of time goes into preparation. Preparation is everything. And we have rehearsals as the family, so as a group. And then I worked in smaller group, and I worked one-on-one with the actors. And it's like you keep working on the script, you keep fine-tuning the dialogue so they feel comfortable, it feels theirs, they want to put elements of their own life into that, or things that they come up with for the character. So it's a very collaborative process up until the day that you shoot. Someone pulls me aside in the morning, like, can I say it like this, or what about, or I just read this, or this happened to me last night. And it's like they all made themselves available to have this really, intense collaboration. And that's how you get great performances. And I'm not saying they couldn't show up and just doing it, but I feel like to believe that when you see them, that they really are a family, is because we put the time in to spend time as a family, right? That familiarity, that really transcends on screen.
And also, I wanted to ask about being one of the producers as well, and what that experience was like, especially once you began filming and balancing your directing with producing as well.
Well, I brought on Ellen Utrecht, who really is such a powerhouse. She's so kick-ass. So I had really solid support from her. I helped with some of the fundraising, and I've produced in the past, but really I'm not going to take credit for that. That's all Ellen. She put a really strong team around me, and that's what you need. I really wanted to focus on the creative. But I dealt with a lot of the cast stuff. I took that on me. Bring someone else on, finding a little bit of the funding. But really, it was Ellen running the show and bringing David J. Frederick, the cinematographer, and his whole team, who've done, been on all these great TV shows that we love. And bringing a great production designer, a great editor, just like a really solid team, and a really smooth production. I can't take any credit for that whatsoever. That's all Ellen.
And in general, how important is it to you as a filmmaker to have such a strong female presence both in the cast and the crew? And what was that experience like of having a lot of women working on the film as well?
I think you work with people that want to support what you do, right? And it's an extra, I don't know, sort of cherry on the cake when that's a woman, right? Ellen and I are both Dutch, we're from Amsterdam. So that clearly creates a bond. But it was really wonderful that she recognized that this material was important, and that she wanted to support that. So, we worked on something else. So we built a relationship, and to do this with her together has been really amazing. And then, working with a team of females, it's great, because but with a producer, what you're looking for is someone who supports what the director does, right? The vision, and sees it through till the end. And you don't want to say, oh, I'd rather do that with women or men. You want to do that with the right people for the particular project. But it was an extra benefit, and a little, like I said, cherry on the cake, that it was females.
And also, I wanted to ask about deciding how you wanted to release the film and going the digital route online. What was that experience like for you as well, deciding to go that route with the film as well?
Look, it's like since COVID, the world has changed. I mean, our post-production process was obviously also very different from any other time. You couldn't sit in a room together. You couldn't look at the same screen. So you're like, the coloring on mine is a little blue. It's like, I don't see blue at all. So, and also with the audio, you don't listen to the same speaker. So, that was challenging. And then, the whole festival route, what you normally do as a filmmaker, it's just not the same, so festivals got canceled and or they got pushed, or a lot of them are online. So that I don't want to say it takes the fun out of it, but it really is. I love doing the festivals. It's great to meet other makers and see how an audience reacts to your material, to see it on the big screen. So we decided, like, look, this piece is important. We all want people to vote. This is a film with a message and a very, important topic that's going on in America right now. So we did Urban World, we did La Femme, we just did Top Short, but we felt like, let's get this movie out there for people to see. And Los Cortos loved the film and they wanted to give us an exclusive platform. And we went for it because I think that's a great opportunity. You can't just wait till your film gets into a festival and then sort of after the fact, because a big part of it is, of course, to get this story out there, to start the conversation, and we want people to vote, your vote matters, and let's not get divided.
In general, what do you hope that audiences can take away from the film now with the election coming up? Do you feel like this is such an important topic to have viewers see in the next couple of weeks with the election, and just in general, what do you hope that audiences can really take away from the story?
You want people to you want to move away from stereotypes, right? First of all, so that's why I made a film about a middle-class Latino family, because I feel it's a very underrepresented group in the media and entertainment. And don't judge people, you don't know their story, and at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, and we all have the right to be here. Everyone contributes. It's a country of immigrants, and how you get here, I'm sure there are many dubious stories from many different people, but that's not the point. Our diversity is our strength, and we should celebrate that. And again, don't judge people. We want the same thing. Be open-minded and listen to each other. Because if you watch the film all the way to the end without revealing the ending, obviously, it puts everything in a very different light. And hopefully people will take that and will touch them emotionally and think twice before they make a decision or judge someone else.
Okay, I think that was mainly it, but thank you again for taking the time out to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks again.
Bye.